Guys, I hope you understood the question and the test cases too. So let's try to understand the approach of this question before going into the coding part. So the thing is, if you don't understand anything in this approach part while I'm explaining, well, slow, don't worry. When I code this solution, I will be explaining it again. That at the time it will be more clearer for you. So this just giving an abstract how the code is going to work. So for solving these kind of questions, see, this is actually a graph. In graph, most of the questions could be solved using DFS or breadth first search. Depth first search in the sense we just try go deeper into the graph. Breadth first search in the sense we try to be broader. For example, if you take a tree, this is the tree 1 2 3. Breadth first search is we first traverse 1, we first traverse 2 3. This is breadth first traversal. This search we will just discuss about it. Let's try it. I'm just giving an analogy how breadth first and depth first works. This is how breadth first works. Whereas depth first works, we just completely explore this one. We just first 1 2, and if we just go to the left only if there are any nodes attached to it. Whereas in breadth first session we don't do that. We just try to explore that each level and then just go to another level. That's the basic difference. So same applies here also. In this question actually could be solved using depth first search. Depth first search in the sense we just completely explore that path before going into its branches. And if this is depth first search, then there is a concept of DP also, dynamic programming. But I am not going to explain all these things for you. In fact, you don't even need to know about depth first search or dynamic programming. Just use your common sense, use your logic. That's all. We will be able to code the solution. So let's see. So before going to start the code, the first thing you have to do is you have to find what all data structures I have to use. I mean, what all variables I have to use in order to code the solution. To code the solution, first thing is I need a graph array that holds an array list. See, if you see here, it's actually a two-dimensional matrix, which is not very convenient. I want at one point how many nodes this one node is connected to. That's why I will be using this graph. What this graph will hold? This graph will hold actually nothing but the vertices itself. What are the vertices here? 1 2 3 4 5. We have 5 vertices. Yes, we have 5 vertices. So this graph array will be holding 5 vertices, and each graph array will hold an array list. This array will contain how many nodes that are directly connected to this particular vertex. For example, see if you see here, one is directly connected to 2 and one is directly connected to 2. That's why we add it one place. So one is directly connected to 2 and one is directly connected to 3. And 2 we don't have anything, so it's null. And 3 we have 4. We add 4, and 4 it is directly connected to 5. So this is what this graph stores. And we also want the letter array. This will be of size 26. That is used to count the frequency of that particular string given. I will explain you how the frequency of a string will be counted with this array of 26 when we are coding. But for now, just keep it. Letter will be there, that is used to count the frequency of the elements in the string. And also we'll be using a technique like a memorization technique. For that we need a two-dimensional array that we will name it as mem. That we will take it as mem. That will contain the rows that will be equal to number of vertices, and the columns will be equal to number of alphabets. So that, for example, if I have one node, in first row I will have 1, and it will have 26 columns. Everything will be initialized to 0. If that first node is A, then at first position I will increase the frequency 1. If it is B, then I will increase the first frequency to B. So that I will know while I was traversing this graph, I will know what kind of frequency what kind of alphabet I am visiting. That's the use of it. And we also need to keep track of visited array. So it just keeps track of, while doing depth first search, we need to keep track of what kind of vertices I am doing, so that we'll be able to identify the circle, whether there is a loop in that particular graph or not. So to identify the graph, we will just go for the depth first search, right? So what is depth first search? So this is the graph that we are discussing. This is the graph we are discussing, right? For depth first search for this graph is like we have to take any arbitrary node alphabetically, or we just start with 1. So we just start with 1, just go in either direction, either right or left. 1 is directly connected to 3, right? We will see if there is 1 is also directly connected to 2. So we just try to first explore this 3. 1 is directly connected, we explore this. If 3 is directly and the 3 is directly connected to 4, then we explore 4. 4 is directly connected to 5, we explore 5. And 5 is it directly connected to anything? No. Then we just backtrack. Then again we come here. So 1 is directly connected to 2, so we explore this also. So meanwhile traversing this itself, we will keep track how many kind of before hitting that wall or null, we just keep track of what kind of frequency I am coming up with. So at this point, how to identify this loop? At this any point of time, if you encounter something that you have already visited, then you can say there is a loop. For example, this is the depth first search, but say in this graph 5 is again directly connected to 4. 5 is again directly connected to 4. So you just go for 1 is directly connected to 3, is directly connected to 4, 4 is directly connected to 5. And then again what you visit 4 again. So 5 is directly connected to 4 again. So already we had this visited array. In that we have already noted that 4 is already visited. And again if I traverse to the 5, if I explore 5, I am again coming to that 4. So then they suggest that DFS contain a back edge. That means we have a loop. As we discussed earlier, what will be the answer if there is a loop? That will be -1. So we just directly written -1 and then just exit from the code. That is -1. And if it is not, we just while exploring the itself, before hitting the wall itself, we will just count before hitting the wall. Okay, I visited 1 in this path. I have got, for example, take this question. 1 is A here. A, 3 is again 3 is A, and 4 is C, and 5. So before hitting the wall, I can just count, right? So vertex 1 has A, vertex 3 has C again, vertex 4 has C. So A uncounted 2 times, C uncounted 1 time, A again uncounted 3 times. So I can just take the maximum of it. 3. No, at present max will be 3. And again I will be starting with node number 2. This path also I will explore, and that will be again only 2 will be the frequency will be max of 1 and 3 will be 3 again. So my answer will be 3. And again I will be starting with 3. So 3 here it will be again, I will be exploring 4. So A, C, A, that's what I will be exploring. Here max is 2. Still my max is greater than 3, it's greater. So DFS at 1 is yielding us maximum value, then I return. At any point of time, if I just encounter the node that I already visited, then just directly connect it -1. That simple it is. So we will see how to code this in a minute. So guys, if you didn't understand anything, please don't worry. We will be discussing that very clearly when we code it. Yeah, that's all. Let's get into